Hi there, Alan Spicer, Marine Telecom. I want to talk about internet connections, internet connectivity on sail and motor yachts for a moment. Problem with internet connectivity on sail and motor yachts is that you want to have connectivity in as many places as possible. And a lot of times in the deep blue, that means satellite, something like fleet broadband from Inmarsat or TracFone V7, mini VSAT, or other forms of VSAT. But often those are expensive, and when you're in dock somewhere, either in the U.S. or outside the U.S., you want to use the least cost internet and voice connectivity that you can do. You've got Wi-Fi, and we do Wi-Fi access systems. We're actually building our own right now. That'll let you connect to marina hotspots and stuff like that, and share that on board your vessel. So those are public 802.11, typically B and or G Wi-Fi systems. And then you've got 3G cellular internet. Cellular internet, we're using mostly the GSM UMTS, which has the high-speed packet access chain of technologies, high-speed uplink and high-speed downlink packet access, HSUPA and HSDPA. And then the other problem that you run into on board marine vessels is when you're dealing with multiple internet connections. How do you jack that in? How do you get that into the boat? And the biggest problem that happens, actually two of the biggest problems that happen. Number one, having multiple routers that all run what's called a DHCP server. They assign your IP address, your gateway, your DNS, all that stuff. When you have multiple ones, you can't just plug that into a switching fabric, a switch hub fabric, going to the onboard access point and wired computers, because then you'll have a conflict. You don't know which of the DHCP servers is going to win as the boss, and one of them will win. One of them will end up running the network. And in order to solve other problems, like printers like to get their IP address automatically, but I typically set them manually because they jump around too much. The computers don't seem to track them. So it's a good idea to do some kind of consolidation of the what runs the onboard network, and then kind of plug everything else into that. That way the onboard network remains stable whether there's no internet or independent of which internet connection you happen to use. Second way that a lot of people do is they buy gear like for Wi-Fi or even for cellular internet, and connect that directly to a desktop or a laptop type computer, and then use internet connection sharing in order to share that on board the boat. In experience in the last 3 years or more, that tends to be flaky. The internet connection sharing or the DNS off of that seems to quit working about every 24 hours or less. Sometimes you might go a couple days, but eventually it's gonna stop working. And then we used to have the old wiggle where you turn the sharing off, reboot the sharing computer, and then bring it back on, and it would come back on for some period of time again. But boats got tired of calling us, and we got tired of getting the phone calls for that wiggle, and we said we got to do better than that. So now we don't do that anymore. A product that's actually been out for a while, Livewire Service Selector, was made to handle satellite connections, including the older NPDS and high-speed data HSD off of Inmarsat Fleet 55 33 and 77, as well as newer, a lot of newer connections, even satellite. They're plugging in Cat5, RJ45, standard Ethernet network connections, and doing their own router within the transceiver unit, which is the router for the satellite. I wanted to show you, there's a demo, and I put it on my blog and put it on its own web page as well. There's already been a Livewire service selector page. Bear with me if this jumps a little bit, because we're going handy cam right now. I'm going to show you my my desktop and try to hold this as solid as I can. I'm just going to do it on my other 32-inch monitor for this video, but it took a hit with a sharp object moving it one day, and it's got lines in the picture. The LCD panel's in not optimal condition, so I didn't want to shoot a video off of that. Right now I'm just showing my blog, which is blog.marintelecom.net, you'll see, and I've got the Livewire, the new access controller FB-10 is basically the new line of the Livewire service selector product line, and this is designed, it's a router box, it's designed to take multiple inputs and manage them for you, and allow you to turn individual ones on. Some newer features in the access controller as compared to the older Livewire service selector is that you now have some more firewalling capabilities, and the capability of turning the connection on only for certain people. A lot of times you'll want to, and the demo will show that, you want to just have the owner and the captain on to limit your bandwidth usage and keep the speed up for the owner and for the captain. Now, a lot of boats let the crew on pretty much most of the time, but when you're hitting satellite that costs money, you might want to limit that in some cases. Okay, so let me show you what that demo looks like. I had it in my folder here. I've also got that on my my web page, which is marintelecom.net / I think it goes with capital letters at the beginning of the words Livewire _service _ selector. That's www.marintelecom.net.